We're out fishing, and today we're going to talk about the 5 essential tips that you need for a successful bass lure fishing trip. There's a lot that goes into bass lure fishing, a lot. If you have these 5 things, you'll be well on your way to landing yourself some bars of silver, man. We'll get down to the shore and we'll get going. Stick around. Bonus little tip down at the end, and my net just fell off. It's gonna be one of them days. First thing that I want to talk about is your lure selection. There are so many lures, man, it's a minefield. It really is. What you need is a subsurface lure, one that goes right under the surface, a soft plastic lure. You can get all kinds. Try and get them in different styles, ones with cheb weights, belly weighted, ones with a weighted head, so you can get down into the bottom. That one's kind of mashed up because I glued the head on. And definitely some unweighted soft plastics. And the unweighted soft plastics are the ones where you've got lots of weed. When you've got lots of weed like this, unweighted soft plastics will get down in there. Any lure that you put in that is weedless, with a weedless hook or anything, it's gonna get caught up sometimes. You can't get 100% weedless. Whoever can make 100% weedless lure is gonna be in for some goodness, man. Soft plastics, subsurface lure, and some surface lures. That's all you need. Colors, that depends on the color of your water. Right now it's really shallow and it's a little bit clear. There's a little bit of overcast, so I'm gonna go with a white surface lure at the moment because my conditions are pretty much flat. So I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna get a surface lure out, I'm gonna move really quickly because the tide's coming in and I'm getting wet, man. The water seems pretty clear. I've got a flooding tide at the moment. It is pretty shallow. Don't forget, man, that you can get bass in really shallow water. It's actually really clear, clearer than I thought it was gonna be. So that's a good thing. I'm just hoping that the May rot stays away, to be honest with you. Boom! Oh, birds are all over it already. I'm using white because it's a little bit overcast. However, the water's really clear. So I might change to a darker color to get some contrast on the surface. When you've got some color in the water, white or really dark. Yeah, I think I'm gonna change colors right now, just because this water is so clear. All right, let me change from this white one to a darker color. Here's a little bit darker color. I mean, it's flashy on the bottom because the top of it is brown. The reflection on the bottom is also brown. Gives it a little bit more contrast. Bass are looking for that contrast. Because to be fair, bait fish aren't white. Follow the birds as well, man. Birds, when you're out lure fishing, are your absolute best friend. Remember when you're going out too, and you go out and you see mullet, don't discount mullet. Wherever there's mullet, there's bass in with them. I don't want to say 9 times out of 10, but a good percentage that there's bass in with them. So where there's mullet, there's bass. If I say it's a fact, I'll probably get slated by a few people, but it's fact. It just is. I'm gonna walk out here a little bit. I'm gonna go around these birds. I've been trying to, oh, I just spooked one. Just spooked one. I knew they were here, dude. I knew it. They're coming into the shallows. Don't discount shallow water, man. I said this was gonna be 5 essential tips. I've already given you like 10 and I haven't even got through one yet. When you're walking to your spot, don't bang and smash through the water because there's fish there. They hear everything. I mean, they probably don't hear like we hear, but it's on vibration. They're hunters. They're looking for their food. So they have to do everything on vibration. If you smash and bang through the water, they can hear you miles off, man. So be really quiet, be stealthy. Pretty basically is what you need to be is like a ninja, a fishing ninja. Stop that short, right into some weed. Gosh darn it. Weed is good, but you don't want to cast right into it. I'm looking for the structure. They like to sit around structure. These little bits of bladderwrack that are sticking out, that's structure, man. Okay, tip number 2. If you can understand the water conditions, and it takes more than one time of getting out there to understand the water conditions. Is it murky? Is it clear? If it's overcast, use a darker lure if the water is clear. Usually when it's overcast and the water's got some color to it, I'll use a white lure. But it's just learning the water conditions. Is there flow there? Is it wavy? If it's really rough, not like today, because today's quite flat, but if it's really, really rough, that's when your subsurface lures come in. You want something to get right under there. You can use a surface lure that's got a lot of splashing and action on the top, but learn your water conditions and go and check out your water. Just learn how the water works in different wind directions, on different tides, in different areas. If you get out there and you do your homework and you start to understand the water conditions, it really helps you to predict where the bass are, when they're coming in, on what tide, what type of lure to use. And it's all about practice. You can definitely do it. Like I was saying when I was walking over here, look for structures. Logs, posts, broken down boats. Bladderwrack is the main structure for bass. It just is. That's what they live around. That's what they love. That's where they get their dinner from. All of those spots are really, really popular spots for bass to be hanging out at. So understand your water conditions, look for structure. Unless you get out and learn and throw a whole bunch of lures, you're not going to learn the conditions. You could throw one lure out and not catch, but maybe they don't want that lure that day. It's about getting out and trying stuff. I've actually got fish movement, but a butt ton of may rot. I'm really glad that I've come over here and this is actually flowing, because now I can show you what I mean by understanding the water. So this flow right here, this water movement is coming out and it's causing movement out here. That's the kind of movement you want. Bass aren't dumb at all. So what they want to do is they're trying to exert the least amount of energy for their next meal. This flow that's coming out here, my hope now is that at the end of it, there's some fish down there waiting for something to come out of this flow and just straight into their mouth. And hopefully it's going to be my lure. Tip number 3, have the right gear. I would say you need a medium weight rod with a fast action tip. It doesn't need to be massive. I mean, 7 to 28 grams will be perfect. It's starting to rain, so that means fish will be coming. Get yourself a reel, 3,000 size. That's what I use, a 3,000 size on an 8'8", 8'6" rod. Lure rods can go up to about 10 foot. There's some bigger ones. Some are 15 to 50 grams. It's about choosing the rod for your conditions. Out in the harbors and stuff, my go-to is an 8'8". This rod is 7 to 28 grams. It's 8'8". It's a regular fast action rod. Make sure you got the right line. I use braided line. I use the Major Craft Stagnant X. It's a really good braid. It holds up. The breaking strain of it is 20 pounds. You'll need a fluorocarbon leader. Some people use a lighter leader. If my line is 20 pounds, so is my fluorocarbon leader. If you get the right gear, it'll be easier on you. You'll get less fatigued. You'll be able to work the lures like they're meant to be worked. You'll be able to feel everything in the tip. Man, you don't have to pay a lot of money. You can go out and get a full kit, braid, reel, everything, for 100 quid. You could even get it less secondhand. So look around, do your shopping, and get the right gear. You'll thank me in the long run. There's a spot that I've been looking at for a really long time, and it's a prime opportunity just to go down there and see what it's about. If you feel like there's a spot that could possibly hold fish, go check it out, man. You've got absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. Your PB might be in that spot that you've thought, I don't want to go there. It's too much pain in my butt. Blah, 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 blah. Go there. Go and check it out. And that's where I'm gonna head to right now. All right, guys, so tip number 4 is going out and honing your craft. Practice makes permanent. You're not gonna learn how to lure fish sitting on your sofa. As much as I enjoy you guys watching the videos, it's highly appreciated. Don't underestimate that at all. But it's about getting out, trying new things, and learning how to fish through things like that. That you can't fish through, but right at the end of it, you can. That's some serious structure right there. So there is probably a fish sitting right at the end of that, waiting for a meal, waiting to pounce, waiting to attack on something. Get out every chance you can get and hone your craft. Throw lures. Throw all kinds of lures. Throw surface lures, soft plastic lures, shallow diving lures, heavy ones, light ones, weighted ones, non-weighted ones. Learn how they swim. Sometimes go out and don't even go out to catch a fish, but just see how your lures work. See how your rod reacts with every different lure. Practice, practice, practice. I can't stress enough to get out, man, and practice as much as you can. Go out thinking that you're not out there fishing for fish to catch anything, and if you catch anything, it's a bonus, man. Practice throwing your lure overhead. Practice the sidearm. My favorite's the sidearm because that's what I'm used to, but you might find that you're casting one way and it's not working for you, so try casting a different way. It's about practice, and it's about getting out there, and it's about getting out of this gosh darn weed. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for. Tip number 5 to an awesome lure fishing session. You're gonna kick yourself when I say this, is patience. Total patience. I've been out here this morning since 5 o'clock, absolutely nothing. Couple little smashes. It takes patience. There might be times that you go out, you chuck a lure out, and bang, you're right into them. But then there are other times where you got to put miles and miles and hours and hours and hours into your fishing sessions. But it all goes back to doing your homework. Get out at low tide, go try other places. I can't express enough. Just try a whole bunch of stuff. And you know what? Right there, those are the 5 tips to a successful bass lure fishing session. Get out there, get the right gear, try out your lures, study the water conditions, what lures work best in which water conditions, what shape lures. Is it a soft plastic? Is it a surface lure? Is it a shallow diving lure? Which ones work in flat conditions? Which ones work in rough conditions? If you don't get out and try it, you're not gonna know, man. So hopefully these really simple tips have helped you out a little bit. Get out, go fishing, and try some stuff, man.